You were never told the truth about desire. They fed you slogans, posters, and sermons telling you to tame it, suppress it, bury it beneath obedience. But listen carefully. What I'm about to say was never meant to reach you. Desire is not weakness. Desire is fire. It is the raw current of creation itself, older than every empire, older than every god carved into stone. The ancients knew this, which is why kings, priests, and rulers built entire systems designed to chain it. If you could desire with full force, no wall could contain you, no crown could rule you. But they broke you early, trained you to feel guilt for wanting more, to shrink your hunger into socially acceptable cages. That was no accident, it was a design. Because a man who burns with unbroken desire cannot be controlled, cannot be herded, cannot be turned into another faceless worker in the machine. And so you were told to be humble, to be patient, to wait your turn. But beneath the noise, your true fire waits, and once you awaken it, you will never go back to sleep. History is not what they taught you. Behind the polished stories of progress and civilization lies a darker truth. Desire was stolen, redirected, and sold back to you in chains. Ancient empires learned early. If you can control what men desire, you can control their lives without ever raising a sword. The Roman circuses, the medieval indulgences, the glowing screens of today, it's the same pattern repeated. They created illusions of choice, feeding you distractions, luxuries, and manufactured goals, so your fire would never threaten their thrones. They learned to program your hunger, telling you what to want, when to want it, and how much of yourself you should burn to get it. And the cruelest trick? They convinced you that their permission was your freedom. But understand this, every man you admire, every legend you secretly wish to be, reached beyond those manufactured limits. They ripped their desire out of the system and set it ablaze for themselves. That is why they rise while others remain caged. If you do not claim your fire, someone else will. An institution, a corporation, a ruling class. And they will feast on the life you could have lived. The trickiest prison is the one built inside your head. They placed a mirror there and called it truth. Look into it and you see versions of yourself shaped by other hands. The dutiful son, the model worker, the obedient citizen. This is psychological architecture, patient, precise, invisible. They program your reflexes, teach your fears, and wire your loyalties until you move like a marionette beneath velvet ropes. Control now wears gentleness. It uses praise, scarcity, and the slow drip of approval to craft dependence. It builds institutions that masquerade virtue and media that pose as wisdom while narrowing your field of possible desires. Halfway through this descent, comment, "I become fire," twice to lock this change. But listen, freedom requires a surgical honesty. You must identify the stories that run you, name the authorities you obey reflexively, and burn the contracts you never signed. This is where initiation begins, painful, solitary, absolute. You will lose friends, comforts, illusions. You will face yourself naked, angry, and absolute. And on the other side waits a different kind of power, the one they feared most. A man made by his own decisions, waiting for a man willing to take responsibility and burn. Right here, now. Once you see the chains, you cannot unsee them. Every advertisement, every law, every sermon, every rule of polite society whispers the same command. Do not trust your hunger. Obey ours. But hunger is the only compass that never lies. Desire is the pulse of the warrior, the root of creation, the signal that you are alive. When you bury it, you become prey, waiting for permission to breathe. When you sharpen it, you become predator, calm, precise, relentless. This is why the ancients feared men of will. They built temples not to gods but to obedience. They crowned kings not because they were powerful, but because they represented the taming of desire. And yet, through history, certain men slipped through the cracks. Men who did not bow, Men who used their desire to carve empires from dust, to bend destiny in their hands. You must choose now. Will you join the forgotten masses, sedated by lies, or will you take back the sacred fire? The system will not clap for you. It will not reward you. It will resist you, punish you, and try to drag you back into silence. That is proof you are on the right path. This is the point of no return. Once a man claims his desire, he is reborn into a world that no longer forgives weakness. You will feel the weight of enemies you never knew existed, friends who mock your ambition, institutions that demand your compliance, invisible hands trying to smother the flame. That resistance is the shadow of your awakening. Remember this: every empire collapses not from outside attack but from within, when enough men stop obeying. That is the secret they guard most fiercely. If you rise, others will see. If you burn, others will ignite. And the system cannot withstand fire spreading through men who refuse to crawl. So stand before the mirror tonight and speak the truth you've been avoiding. I will not live sedated. I will not die as property. I am deeply sire, unbroken, untamed. Comment it again: I become fire, and let it echo through your bones, because from this moment forward, excuses rot, fear dissolves, and the man you were trained to be is dead. What remains is dangerous, ungovernable, and real. Your path begins here, not in comfort, not in applause, but in fire. Step through, burn, rise.